For everyone who wants to know, when does this get easier? This is a post that I wrote when I was doing a brief stint as a moderator on the Neville subreddit. And this was one of the biggest issues, and is one of the biggest issues, really, in general, for everyone who's trying to change anything, especially if they're trying to do it by manifesting it. So here it is. I've been a mod on the sub for about 6 weeks, and the number of posts coming through looking for support because the 3D isn't easy to ignore is overwhelming. Truly, if they were all posted, this would become the Neville Goddard support group. As someone who has been consciously working on ignoring the 3D and believing what I decide will be true instead of what appears to be true for over 2 decades, I want to answer this question honestly. It gets easier the same way anything gets easier, with practice. You have to actually do the work. What this means is that when you get into that ideal mental state where you just know you're going to get everything you want, you stay there. You don't let the events of the 3D world knock you off from that. How? By not letting the 3D knock you down. There's no easy 3-step process. You have to get control of yourself. What this means: you see something that seems bad. Right now, your mind is just a wild stallion bucking like crazy instantly. You have to work to get that stallion under control. You catch the thoughts and the reactions as they are happening. You talk yourself down. You remind yourself that you don't know what the things in the 3D mean in terms of your manifestation. You sit through some nasty emotions without opening your mouth and letting someone have it. You sit through some anxiety and fear without making any decisions or wildly veering off course mentally. You let it pass. You feed yourself empowering thoughts. You tell yourself, I can handle anything. You remind yourself that you must have faith. You slipped and freaked out for a minute or an hour or a day. You catch yourself and stop. And you do it again and 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 again. You never stop. You change this about yourself. It's vital to this entire thing and to life in general. You can do it. You commit to this. Getting control over your mind. It is the only way. When you choose to start the work of getting your mind under control, when you choose to start the work of getting your mind under control is up to you. But if you don't, your life will continue in the fashion it has up until now. Maybe at first you're successful 1 out of 20 times. It doesn't matter. You have to persevere. The other option is giving up. And some people will have to give up and have their lives get worse before they figure out that giving up doesn't lead anywhere good. I didn't stop giving up and hiding from the world and having to dig myself out of messes until I was 30. It gets easier when you truly accept that it's never the answer. No one ever truly comes to save you. The world doesn't stop spinning. You end up in a worse position. Eventually, it stops being an option. That makes doing the difficult work of changing your mind a little easier. It will be easier for some than others. Personally, I hit the ground running in some areas and didn't get around to cleaning up my mind in other areas until 5 years ago. There were long breaks in there. It's like training your body. Some parts are easier than others, and it's not a one and done. It's an ongoing process that continues throughout your life, and it'll be individual to you personally. Another tool Neville gave you is revision. Catch yourself and revise. You don't have to do it at the end of the day or after something seemingly irreparable has already happened. Excuse yourself if you need to. Go somewhere quiet and revise whatever just happened that's upsetting you. Do this over and over. Every time your mind starts going to the dark place because some event just happened, do this. It will become a habit. It will eventually become second nature. Support from others is great, but it's also a Band-Aid. It's others comforting and encouraging you when you need to develop the skill of comforting and encouraging yourself. For some people, this is very difficult. I was and am one of those people. The real magic happens when you start being mentally self-sufficient, and there's no better time to start exercising that muscle than right now. No one can do it for you. No amount of tips or tricks or techniques can do it for you. You catch yourself reacting. You pause, you keep your mouth shut, you keep your hands to yourself, you don't make any decisions, you don't take any actions, you breathe and calm down and find the words to go right back where you were before this event that threw you off, that half the time turns out to be nothing of significance, happened. And you keep doing it until you catch it faster and faster, and eventually you no longer find yourself having long, drawn-out reactions that derail you and ruin your entire day, night, week, month life. This is what detachment is in this context, which is a reward in and of itself, regardless of if it gets you your manifestation faster. Peace is its own reward. And I finished this post off with a quote from Neville Fundamentals, which I just did a reading of a few days ago. I'll link to that in the description of this video. The purpose of practicing detachment is to separate us from our present reactions to life and attach us to our aim in life. This inner separation must be developed by practice. At first, we seem to have no power to separate ourselves from undesirable inner states, simply because we have always taken every mood, every reaction as natural and have become identified with them. When we have no idea that our reactions are only states of consciousness from which it is possible to separate ourselves, we go round and round in the same circle of problems, not seeing them as inner states, but as outer situations. We practice detachment or inner separation that we may escape from the circle of our habitual reactions to life. That is why we must formulate an aim and constantly notice ourselves in regard to that aim. I hope this helped somebody. It's where a lot of people are currently stuck. It's really where the work is, just in life, not even just with manifestation. I mean, this is one of those things that is so pervasive. It's so peace disrupting and, misery creating, that this is just, whether you believe in manifestation or not, or whether you believe in anything, getting control of yourself and your reactions to things does nothing but benefit you. And it will absolutely change your life in every imaginable way for the better. So I hope that helps somebody. Have an awesome day.